Hey guys, Derek Blue Collar Chess. In today's video, we're going to be doing some Zwischenzug puzzles, intermezzo, whatever you want to call them. Basically, it means in between moves. So you've got to find the move that makes the combination work. And so here, the knight's attacked. It's attacked 3 times. It's defended 3 times. So how would you go about getting rid of one of the defenders, right? So, if rook on c1 takes the rook on c8, there are 2 things happening. One, black just lost a piece, and the other thing is his rook is now pinned to his king. So if he then takes the rook, there's now only 2 defenders of that black knight. Okay, so the move there that we'd have to look at would be knight takes f3 check, right? So rook takes rook, knight takes f3 check. You gotta get a check, so you might as well just take the knight. So, besides, I mean, your queen's attacked anyways. So then g takes knight. And then, yeah, so rook takes rook, knight takes bishop, pawn takes knight. And then, if queen takes rook, then you would take the rook on d8 with check. And the queen would take back, then your other rook would take with check. And if it didn't, well, yeah, the king has no place to move. It would just be the bishop moving, right? So then you would just take the queen. So yeah, so I would say that's the move. Or at least I don't see a defense. So rook takes rook. If rook takes the rook, then you can just take the bishop. And then what happens if... yeah, so if the rook slides back to d8, you just go to e3, and you've defended everything. So you should be good there. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to play rook takes rook, takes rook, bishop takes knight. Yeah, see, so this is the move. And then just like that. And we're going to do a couple more here. Okay, so what's happening in this position is that the queen is offering a queen trade. The queen is only protected by the knight. So then becomes the question on whether you can remove the defender or not, right? So the in-between move there would be knight takes knight. So then the queen has to do something. If you take the knight, you're going to lose your queen. So in this case, queen takes queen, but then the intermediate move would be, or the intermezzo move would be knight to e3 check. Okay, I'm sorry, e2 check. And that gets your knight out of danger. You're then threatening his bishop, and it gives you time to take the queen. So what that looks like is this. And then there, so that's the intermediate move. Okay, so let's do one more. That one was pretty easy. So you're in check, so you have to get out of check. So what is this? If you take with a knight, you're going to lose your... Okay, I see what's going on. So black thinks that the rook is protected, right? No, wait. So rook takes knight, because you got to keep your knight in contact with your queen. So rook takes knight, queen takes queen, and then you're going to take his rook with check. And that, because if you didn't, okay, so yeah, sorry, this is a little confusing. So again, I'm doing all this stuff in real time. So rook takes knight, queen takes queen, and then rook takes rook check. So if you don't do rook takes rook check, say you do rook takes knight, queen takes queen, and then you take knight takes queen, And then you're looking at the rook is going to come down and take on f3. So it'll be up the exchange. All right, so that's why the intermezzo move is going to be the rook takes the rook on f8 check. All right, so that's the move. And in a real game, you've always got to watch out for those type of things because it's very, very common. So yeah, and as you can see, this also protects the bishop, which I didn't even pick up on. So, all right. It was black to move. And let's see here. What's going on? Okay, so I think this one's pretty easy. I think this one is just knight takes knight. Maybe it's bishop takes knight. So bishop takes knight. I think it's knight takes knight. So, yeah, I'm not seeing like a clear knockout. So let's take a piece count here. 1, 2, 3. So you're down a minor piece. Knight takes knight. So you'll get your minor piece back and you'll have a decent attack. Is that what you're trying to do, though? I'm not sure if that's what you're trying to do. So let's look at bishop takes f3. Bishop takes f3. If pawn takes, then the knight just takes with the check and takes the queen. So I would say probably at that point, bishop takes f8. Then bishop. Yeah, no, I think you're just keeping equality. Yep. So then you take this, and there you go. So I wasn't really sure what the point of that puzzle was. It was. I mean, obviously you're winning. I mean, this is clearly a one position for you. Of course, it's chess at this level. Anybody can lose. But okay. So this, what is this move? Again. So here, I think again you're just trading pieces. You're so it's going to be the rook takes the bishop. Rook takes rook, and then knight to b4 probably. Unless there's a better move than knight to b4. But yeah, I think that will be the move. Yeah, so it's rook takes bishop. I didn't even see that move. So yeah, but you don't really need your queen there, so that doesn't really matter. Yep. So, I just made a mistake. And it's funny, I do this in games, which is one of the reasons why my blitz rating stays around 1900. I got hit with a move that I wasn't expecting. And then next thing you know, I make a mistake immediately thereafter. So it's a good thing. And you can train it here. And it's something I'm working on, for sure. So you wouldn't do that. You would do this. You would just take first. I mean, it's obvious once you see it, and now you're a piece up, right? So that's my bad. That's a bad habit that I have that I'm trying to break. And again, so I think this is just take the bishop. So, because if you take the knight, you're going to lose your bishop. So you're going to take the bishop first, and then you're attacking his queen. And now you can take the knight. And you got a good position. So, let's do one more here. So, what happened there? This was... Alright, took the bishop, right. So if you take back with a pawn, he's going to take with a queen check, and then he's going to take your bishop. So in this position, I think you can take the bishop with check with your bishop. So check, then what does he do? He just moves out of the way somewhere. Yeah. See, this isn't even something I think you even really need to calculate too much. Because he doesn't have a lot. He doesn't have... Yeah, yep, because check is forcing. So he's going to go there now. Now I think you can take this, and if he checks, you can just block with your queen. And we're gonna do probably like one more maybe. Okay. Best move for white. Best move for white. Check. All right. So, I think this is gonna be queen takes queen, rook takes that. Then you just gotta take the bishop with a check, and then you're gonna be a piece up. So easy enough. Go like that, and you're a piece up. Okay. Continue training. Okay. So what are we doing here? I would take the queen. So you take the queen first, and then he's got to take back. And when he does, you take his bishop, and you're going to have a passed pawn, and that's going to be your plan, right? Well, he's going to have a passed pawn too, isn't he? Can you pass pawn win, though? Okay, so let's take a look. Yeah, so let's actually calculate this one out. Okay, so queen takes queen, pawn takes queen. Pawn takes bishop. I think you've got to play king to f8 right away because your pawn, because that b4 pawn's going to queen. If he doesn't, you have to get inside that square if you're black, right? So king to f8. And then king to... Yeah, then king to g1. So yeah, you just have a winning position there. It's kind of hard to see, I think, but we'll play it out. So it's queen takes queen. That's the intermezzo move. And then that, and I want to actually just play this out so that we can see how this would go. And I'm going to use mostly the computer moves here. So king f8, which is what I thought. King g1. What's he say? G5, h5. I would say king e8 probably is the most move that would be played here. King's going to go to f2. King's going to go here. King to e3 probably. I just want to show you why I thought the position was winning. Is because what does black do? Say he pushes here, right? So then you bring your king here. He comes here to attack your pawn. While he's doing that, you're going to probably just play b5. And then if he switches, what happens there? Yeah, if he switches, you just keep going. And he's going to go to c6. You're going to snap this up. He's committed now. And I would say you're going to go to this square. I like d6 because if you go immediately to this square, he's going to bring his king here. And then you've got to find a tempo move, which isn't that hard to do. There's plenty of tempo moves. But with that said, I just like this move better. It gets the opposition right away. I think this is pretty easy to play, right? Yeah, so let's say you play something like h6. Then I would say I don't like g4. H4 maybe. How about king to... yeah, honestly, king to e7 works, I think. So you go king e7. Now you're going to go after these pawns. And this pawn's about ready to queen. So yeah, so that has to be quick enough. Because in this case, he'd have to go here, 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 here. Yeah, and look how long that takes. So, or he'd have to, at least go... Yeah, no, I think this is clearly winning. So you go to king e7. I don't know, king, let's say c5. I think king c5 makes the most sense. Then you take, and yeah, c3, whatever. He takes, he goes here. You just get your king out of the way. Yeah, I mean, you can see why this is winning. I would hope, right? I mean, worst case scenario, you get a queen and then you trade it for that pawn that's on a4 and the game's over. All right, moving on. I'm gonna do one last one. Okay, so if you take the queen with a knight, he's going to queen on f1. So you got to find an intermediate move there. What is the intermediate move? The intermediate move is queen to f5 check. Yeah, keeping guard of the kind of x-raying through to that square right there. So you play that. And now you can take the queen. Yeah, so if he queens, you just do that, right? Let's do one more. That one was easy. Okay, intermediate move. Okay, so this intermediate move is pretty interesting because it's going to utilize a pin. So let's see here. So I believe rook d1 because he can't take the rook because he self-pinned himself, right? So as soon as he brought his queen to d5, my queen is now pinning his queen to his king because that would put him in check. So rook to d1, his best move, which is terrible, is queen takes queen, and then you're going to take his rook with a check, and then you're going to take the queen back. So that is the move, thanks to a pin. And you take, he goes there, and the game is won for you. Let's do one more. All right, black to move. And here, I think you can just take the knight with a check. You just take a knight with a check, and then you take back, and then you take the pawn. I believe is how that's going to work. And it's going to go like this. Check. He's going to do it like that. It makes sense. Take, he does that. And now you take the pawn, and you're good to go. All right, guys. This is Derek with Blue Collar Chess. I hope you have a good understanding of what intermezzo is now. If you ever do find yourself in trouble with certain themes, go to Lead Chess and try to find that theme in their puzzles. And that's how you get better. You're just going to train that particular theme, whether it's hanging pawns or it's just blunders. They have a whole thing on blunders. It's a really good resource, and I highly recommend it. Try not to go too fast like I did on question number 5. But anyways, guys, it's Derek Blue Collar Chess. Hope you enjoyed this this little lesson, I guess. And I'm gonna keep doing a few more of these. I'm gonna do some more tactical stuff, and I'm just gonna use Lead Chess probably, or maybe I'll use a book that I have on Chessable or something for certain themes like pins and whatnot. But yeah, so that is Zwischenzug, and this is Derek Blue Collar Chess. Talk to you guys later.